What's going on, people? Georgio Savvides here, founder of the Hip Hop Orchestra, as well as the host of the Hip Hop Orchestra Presents podcast. And I got a really exciting announcement to finally make with everyone, is that we have our very first official sponsor for the podcast. Now, they are an amazing company called Eldon's Vault, who are extremely dedicated in bringing you the very best in officially licensed merchandise from pop culture. And when I mean the very best, I mean the very best. They provide things like keyrings, caps, t-shirts, to Funko Pops, to statues from all over, such as DC, Marvel, Disney, The Mandalorian, Harry Potter, music artists from all over the place, and they are ridiculously good. I've got a couple of things to show you on offer at the moment. This trust me, their stuff is amazing. So, t-shirts, like I mentioned, like the one I'm wearing right now. It's got Rocky right here, which I absolutely love. Or, like I said, also got Funko Pops as well, 3.75 inches and 10 inches. I've got a couple of 10 inches right here for you. I've got Post Malone right here, and I've also got Biggie right here, who I absolutely love. These are so sick. Eldon's Vault, trust me, they are amazing. Now, I'm going to leave the link below in the video right here, and also in the description below as well in all future videos from the podcast. But trust me, Eldon's Vault are amazing. Website is www.eldonsvault.co.uk. Get in touch with them now and start buying ASAP. But also, before I forget as well, I just want to say the biggest thank you to Eldon's Vault for sponsoring the podcast. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you. And trust me, get in touch with them right now. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And peace. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Hip Hop Orchestra Present. I've got an amazing guest today, amazing violist and violinist Natalia Senior-Brown. How are you doing? You okay?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm good, thank you. I'm excited.
Good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. How's things been? You've been okay?
Yeah, it's been a weird one. It's been so up and down, obviously, with the whole lockdown situation. I've had loads of gigs come in and then loads of gigs cancelled. So
Yeah.
my schedule's been a bit mad, but it's
Yes.
good.
Yeah. Same with the orchestra. You've been like literally all over the place. Like yourself, get like the offers come through, then they get dropped, and then
Yeah,
you know what?
exactly.
Yeah. But how you been coping the whole way through? You been okay? Like the whole
Yeah,
year?
you know what? It's more. I think it's very similar for everybody in that it's been a bit of a journey and learning curve,
Yeah.
especially first lockdown started so long ago now. I think the first one I was going a bit mad at first, but then taking a couple months to get used to it, it
Yeah.
was, you know what the situation is, and you're like, all right, well, let me just do this and try this, and yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been good.
How have you been coping? Like, have you like doing many projects at home? What's been during lockdown?
I think the beginning of the first lockdown, for the first 2 or 3 months, I did a lot of um, recordings for other people
Hmm.
because obviously, like, nobody really knew how long it was going to last. We thought we thought it was going to last a few months. That was not the case. Um, but yeah, so there are a lot, there are a lot of people doing collaborations with each other, online digital stuff. So I did quite a few of those, but I don't know. I think after a bit, it just got a bit tiring,
Yeah.
especially because there was like no end in sight either. So I mean, they kind of fizzled out a little bit, but then that's when I started my own YouTube channel because out of my own boredom. Um, and yeah, kind of was tried to use the time as best as I could to be as creative as possible and keep my musical stuff going, even if I didn't have any actual gigs. So yeah, it was good.
Which is amazing, by the way. Because I've been watching. I've
Thank
known about
you.
yourself for a while, by the way. We actually know a mutual friend, don't we, Afron?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
yeah. Because he sent me your videos a little while back, actually, about 2 3 months ago. I thought she's amazing as well. She's actually ridiculously
Right.
good. So that's how I knew you. But
Oh,
then
awesome.
yeah,
Thank you. Too.
yeah. Shout out to him, by the way, mate. He's doing
Good,
some massive bits as
definitely.
well. But yeah, I watched a lot of your videos and they're unbelievable. I mean,
Oh, thank you so much.
so how do you find the whole process? Do you like pick and choose and then write the parts out, or do you just freestyle and take it from there?
Um, it depends on the song. Um, I think if it's more a song that's melody based, it's a lot easier because obviously then I can use whatever vocal lines are in there and kind of bounce off that. Most of the time, yeah, I just kind of I play the track and I just play along myself. I'll have it recording on Logic, and if there's any like ideas or motifs that I've played and I like, then I'll keep them, then re-record them to make them a little bit better or shift them somewhere else. Or yeah, it's all about finding different bits that I know are going to sound good, but when I'm doing first drafts and just
Yeah,
completely going for it and improvising, a lot of times they don't end up in the same place in the
yeah,
finished product.
yeah.
So I feel like shifting them about a bit and see what works, and yeah, just getting contrast.
Nice.
Um, yeah.
Do you have any personal favorites that you've done so far?
Um, I think I'm gonna have to say my first one I did, mainly just because it was the first one and it was just I mean, obviously it took me the longest to do out of all the videos I've done
I was
because I
going to
had
ask
no idea
actually.
how to do it. And now the process is quick, the process is fine, but the first one took me like days to figure out everything, calling people up like, how do you work this, how do you like, but I think that was what I loved about it, was the process of finding out how to do it as efficiently as possible. And yeah, it I think that was my favorite so far.
Which track was that again? Your first one?
It was Do It by Chloe and Halle.
Okay, wicked track by the way. I heard that again
Yeah.
yesterday. Brilliant, really, really good.
Yeah, thank you. Yes,
Yeah,
so
no
good.
pleasure. But stay about the first sort of track you're doing though. And I found out the same thing with the podcast actually, where it literally took me, well, I think 5 hours to do one
Yeah.
episode. It took me forever. You know when like sort of YouTubers or podcasts or whatever, they seem so natural when they do it, but
Yeah.
and you think, oh, this looks easy.
Oh, yeah,
But yourself,
exactly.
this is
But then you
bloody hard.
forget how much effort they've gone through as well
Yeah,
to get to where they are. You're like, oh my god, yeah.
it's so true. Who do you kind of take inspiration from? 'Cause I know that it's someone else who does what you do as well. Is D Sharp, the violinist?
Hmm.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? I know of him, but I don't really follow him as much. I think I um I really like Azima.
Mm.
I think I said her name right. I hope I said the name right. And I can't even remember. I mean, she's huge now. I can't remember how I first saw her, but I remember um I heard about her somewhere first, and then I found out she did Beyonce's Homecoming at Coachella,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, okay, this is really cool.
Yeah.
So um and especially, I don't know about you, but in the UK it's obviously not as big a thing in the US at the moment. It's becoming a lot bigger and it's growing, but I think it's still a very, very niche and untapped market in the UK. So I do take a lot of inspiration from people like her, and um yeah, it's nice to get inspiration from people who have been doing it obviously a little bit longer.
Yeah. Was she part of what was it, Kanye West, what was it, College Dropout as well? Yeah, years back, we did like a couple like with like people like Twist, Overnight Celebrity, Twister,
Yeah,
Kanye West. Did you do that track as well? 'Cause I remember there was one point where she was
I
on like literally
did.
every track that was coming out. Uh,
Really? See, I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah.
I didn't know.
But
Probably.
yeah, but it's true what you said about that kind of niche market in America where they'll do a couple of bits like this, but they'll just disappear again. But that's why I started the Hip Hop Orchestra 8 years ago, actually, because I saw that
Yeah.
there was a huge market for something like in the UK and the US. No one else was really doing it, but now, as we both know, everyone's kind of doing the same thing now. Like you've got the Garage Orchestra that you work with, you've got
Yeah.
Ignition, like you've worked with as well, and millions of
Yeah.
other people. But I just love kind of blending those like
Oh,
garage or
it's
hip hop,
so great.
R&B. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad it's growing and growing because, like you say, they're two genres that sound like they shouldn't work, but they really do. And I think the creativity behind all the finished products is so great, and people don't realize how much goes into it.
So
Um,
true. Like,
yeah.
what do people say to you then when you say that or when you say or show people what you do? What do they say to you first before you actually show them in videos? Are they kind of shocked at what you do as well, or are they like, will that work? What
I
they
actually, I don't think I've had that yet. I think because my channel is still pretty young. So I think anybody who has spoken to me about what I do has already seen my stuff first. So I don't really have experience of that yet, but I can imagine that a lot of people probably do say that. Or actually, no, tell a lie. There are sometimes I get in my comments when like if people have shared some of my videos, some of the comments where you can tell that people obviously that don't listen to classical music, and they're like, wow, this shouldn't work, but it actually kind of bangs. Which I'm like, oh, that's great. That's what I wanted.
You're so tricky. I remember that when we did our first ever performance years ago,
Yeah,
when I mentioned who we were and what we aimed to do with it,
yeah,
people laughed at us, like they laughed at me and the idea. But
yeah.
then we performed, like, oh my God, that is amazing. That, well, there we go. Because it's weird how some people they can't visualize like we can. We can see it's
Yeah,
looking in our mind what will work. But
yeah,
unless you show people, they kind of like, that won't work. They're like, okay, just trust me, watch
yeah.
this. And it really works.
Yeah, definitely. I also think it's a lot of people who do listen to rap or hip hop music that um don't. I'm not saying like this is because I'm musical or whatever, but on the surface of it, listening to a track, a lot of people who don't know about music production don't realize that the layers in there, they're using synced strings or they're using synced instruments. So then when you pitch it to them, they're like, that's not gonna work, but
Yeah,
actually they've been kind of listening to it already, just not in a live format.
it's so true. And what's been the hardest track that you've worked on so far? Like you thought might have been easy initially, but then you thought, oh, hold on, it's actually quite hard to work on.
There was actually one. I can't remember which one it was though. There was one that took me days and days to do, and I thought it was going to be a quick 1 day job. And I remember like 3 days later, I was like, I'm still editing this video. Like, what is? It might have actually been the last one I put out, which was a Dutch Valley cover, but I
Hmm.
took it down because of all
Oh,
the allegations
yeah,
that are happening against
yeah.
it.
Don't blame
Which
you.
is,
Yeah.
I mean, a shame for me because that would be my favorite so far, but I'm not prepared to keep that up
No,
at
I
the
don't
moment.
blame you because we were actually meant to work with him as well,
Yeah,
and obviously the allegation came. I thought straight away, no, not going to do that.
yeah, no
It's
way.
it's always better to be safe than sorry, really. Especially when those kind of things come out, just play it safe.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And it was something as serious as it was. So,
of course, of course.
but yeah, I think that so far that would have been my longest project. But the next one that I'm putting out,
Yeah,
this is the one that has taken the longest so
it's a
far.
new longest one.
It's like I'm just waiting to finish it, and when it's out, I'll be like, ah, hallelujah, like done.
Oh,
Uh,
what's the plan then? I mean, say like one a week, one video a week, or say a couple a week? What's the new plan for your YouTube
Um,
channel?
so ideally I would like to do one a week, and that's what I was doing in the first lockdown, which I got into a really good routine of doing, but that's because I had no work.
Hmm.
But now, gigs are coming and going, being cut, like it's hard to keep myself to a schedule because everything's changing so much. Um, so at the moment, I'm trying to get like one out every couple of weeks to
Nice,
keep something going. Um,
brilliant.
but
What
yeah,
what was the last gig that you actually did this year? If you
last
were able to
gig.
do one.
I've I'm very lucky in that in November I did quite a few. I was very lucky to get quite a few. Um, I can't actually remember what last. I think the last one I did was a music video shoot for Celeste.
Nice, I saw
Um,
that.
yeah, I can't remember if the actual video's out yet. Um, I think it's supposed to be out soon, but it was so nice to just be back doing things with people, even though we were all like spaced out and couldn't really touch each other. It was still nice to look around and see stuff happening.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that was the last thing I did last month.
Nice. Was that with anyone that you knew, with other string players, or was that
Yeah,
completely right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was actually that quartet that the quartet that work with her. We've worked with her a couple of times before, which is really nice. And the pianist as well, he works with her all the time. He's basically
Amazing.
her pianist. So
Nice. Because the last one we did was back in May, actually, of this year with Big Zoo.
okay,
Yeah. And like you
good. You
said,
got one in lockdown.
yeah, like luckily as well. Like his video actually came out, I think 2-3 weeks ago now. The video for
Hmm.
Great to Be with some of my members at the
Oh,
Hack the Empire. Oh, it's so good. But like you said, though, just to have some of the guys back together and just performing and
yeah,
oh,
exactly.
it's
Oh, that's
so.
great.
Thank you. Like you too, though. Like, but I've seen the work that you've done. Like, it's been amazing, and I
Thank
saw
you.
it that. It's my pleasure, and I saw that recently. You posted like you could finally release it your BBC rap game that you done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was such a fun day. But then, so we were, taking loads of photos, taking loads of videos, and then it got to the end of the day, and they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you can't say anything about this until it's released." And we were like, "Okay, well, when's that be? Like a week or two?" And they were like, "No, probably mid-November." And this was I think we filmed it the beginning of September.
Really?
So we
Damn.
were like, "Oh God." So I had to put them all in like a back burner folder.
Yeah. My God. But it's so hard to like hold on to your secrets, isn't it, for so long?
I know, it's so frustrating. There's so many projects like that, but not
Yeah.
much is
'Cause
there.
I remember we worked on a project that I put
Mm,
in the podcast actually a while back. We were working on it for a year and a half, only for it to
yeah.
get
Oh
dropped.
wow.
And yeah,
No.
and I quit
Oh,
my job and everything to focus. It's such a big job. It was huge. And then that change of hands, delay. Oh, we're dropping it now. Bye. I thought, what the hell? No.
year and a half as well.
Hmm.
After that amount of time, you'd think they'd still want to salvage something.
Yeah, but the person I won't obviously say who it is right now, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
yeah, they know who they are. But I remember I told one of my best friends who worked at this company who
Yeah.
took over, and he goes, "Yeah, this person's known for doing this kind of thing, just dropping the whole thing." I
Uh,
thought, "No, man, no." 'Cause people keep on. I kept putting like little teasers here and there. 'Cause it got confirmed and everything. I put
mm,
little teasers up, saying, "Oh my God, it sounds good. What is it? What is it?" So I can't say just yet, but just bear with
yeah.
me. And it got dropped out. Everyone goes, "What's going on with the project?" And yeah, it's been dropped.
Oh,
Oh, but how was it to work on though with BBC Rap Game? How was it?
it was good. It was I mean, obviously a very different experience for us because we were just there for the day. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It was fun.
Yeah,
We didn't, obviously, we were just playing the same thing over and over again. So it was kind of easy,
yeah,
which is
nice.
good. But that's good. I like that because then that gives me like an opportunity to be able to take in my surroundings and what else is going on.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm not like head in the music all the time. It was a bit surreal, and you know what? It was. I'm lucky in that I've met a few celebrities doing gigs anyway, but
Uh-huh.
seeing Clapton Conan walk in, I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Like I really wanted to be able to meet them after, but I think they dashed off quick. But that was a starstruck moment for me, even though they were like on the other side of the room.
You can imagine. Was it an all day shoot for you?
Yeah, actually, was it? I actually can't remember. My memory's really bad. I think we got there, the orchestra got there probably like 3 or 4 hours before everyone actually started shooting, so we could just go through, set up, sound well yeah set up, just sound check, going through, practicing our parts and stuff like that. But yeah, it was very chill actually, and everyone was so nice. There were a couple of people in the crew, and for like some of the contestants that we were just like talking to when we had time in between takes and stuff. Yeah, it was really chill. It was really good.
Nice, brilliant. Or was it the one track that you said, or was it several different ones that you had to perform?
No, it was just the one track. So the challenge of that episode was that they all got the same track, and they all had to write their own bars to it. And basically, yeah, that was their challenge. And so we just played the same thing for, I don't know, 6 or 7 times, however many contestants there were.
Ah,
But
fair enough.
yeah, I mean, it was very repetitive for us, so it was good to be able to listen to what they were actually saying, which is
Brilliant.
cool.
Were you involved in the kind of composing side of things, or did you just perform?
Pardon, sorry.
Were you involved in the composing side as well of the
No,
track?
No, Katie Chatburn, the conductor of Ignition, she does all the she did the arrangements for that. And she does most of the arrangements whenever we do gigs. She's so good. She spends so much time sorting all that out. So we don't have to do anything, which is great. But yeah, that's all her job, and she does a great job doing it.
Nice. And did you get the track on the day itself, or did you get it in good time so you can practice it just in case?
I actually can't remember.
Yeah.
I
It's not that
usually
bad, is it?
yeah. No, well, I think usually she does send it in advance. But I think I probably saw it and was like, oh yeah, that would be a on the day thing,
Yeah.
because it was just, I'm not joking in saying it was one sheet of music, and I'm pretty sure I had the same 4-bar loop for the whole sheet of
Oh,
music.
fair enough. Okay.
So it was very easy. But altogether, the whole orchestra sounded really cool, even if my part sounded a bit lame by itself.
No, I also watched it back. It's really, really good. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And did you play viola or violin for that?
I played viola for that. So when I do my orchestral stuff, I pretty much always play viola, unless like somebody really needs a violinist and they can't find one.
Yeah.
I mainly only really play violin for my channel, but I think that's something that I think I might try and start expanding on, see if I can do it more in orchestras and other gigs and stuff.
No, I know that you switched, didn't you, from violin to viola at 14?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You did your research.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, how did you find that switch going from violin to viola? Was it like I know sort of basically exactly the same in obviously ways, but
yeah,
was it a big change for you, or did you find it quite an easy transition to do?
it was quite hard at first, I think, but it was hard, but I had to do it quickly. I was kind of thrown in at the deep end. Basically, the school that I was at, which was a music school, they had barely any sorry, I can't speak. They barely had any viola players, and all the kids, like most of the kids, were violinists in the strings, and so they'd always get some of the violinists to try viola in school orchestra. And I remember, I think by the age of 14, I'd been there for like 5 years, and for those first 5 years, I was like, you are not getting me to try viola. I won't try it. If you do, I'm going to get my mum to ring in. And, and then they called me like the day before an orchestral project. It's like, we're begging you to try it because we don't have any other violists that are like your age. They're all really young. So could you just try it for this one project and then we won't ask you again? And so they sent me like a viola the day before. They sent me the music the day before. They were like, okay, first rehearsals are tomorrow. This is how you read alto clef.
Yeah.
And so I had to
yeah,
I had to basically stay up all night, like teaching myself how to play an alto clef. And I loved it. Like I fell in love with it straight away, and then I just like switched straight away. So I felt so bad.
That's amazing, though. But how talk about the alto and treble clef? How do you find it switching from both clefs when you have to read different parts?
Now it's second nature. I don't have to think about it, which is very, very handy. But I do remember when I first started, it was a struggle. It was definitely like a brain switch going between the two, especially because I'd been playing violin for 7 years at that point. I had to keep reminding myself that I didn't have an E string. So that was it's fine now, but it was something to get used to.
Brilliant. And might be a silly question, but have you ever switched between both of them during a performance for any reason?
No, I haven't yet, but I would love to actually. I think that's something that sounds pretty cool.
That would be amazing. And I saw that you won first place as well at Royal National College of Music for viola as well.
Yeah, I did at the RNCO.
Yeah.
I went for it in I think that was my last year of my undergrad, my 4th year, and I went for it 2 years before as well, and I think I was a runner-up for that one, and it was just so much stress. I didn't do it the next year. I was like, I can't bother. I don't want to put myself through it again. And then it came to my final year, and my teacher was like, why don't you do it? And I was exactly the same. I was like, I just can't. I really can't be bothered. I had so much else going on. I was like, I don't want to put half of my effort into it just to like be a runner up. Like obviously I'm gonna want to win it if I go for it. And then by some bloody miracle and a bit of hard work, I got it, which I was not. I mean, yeah, I was surprised about, because the other people who were going against me were obviously incredible as well. But yeah,
how difficult was it to work on?
um, not too bad, because the requirements for that competition was that you play a sonata. And luckily I was already playing one for my end of year recital.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so I was like, perfect, it's light work from here, because
Yeah.
I don't really have to do much more practice, just like fine tune things. So that was
Ah,
very happy.
fair enough. How did you find your time at the RNCM? Was it okay?
It was amazing, it
Yeah.
was great. I'm very happy I went there. It was between there and Royal College.
Mm.
And I mean, I always do think, like, how, where would I be now, or would things be different if I went to London? But I'm really happy with my time at RNCN. It's such a chill place.
Brilliant. 'Cause you're based in Manchester, aren't you, at the moment?
I am, yeah, at the
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
Brilliant. Do you go from Manchester to London for any? Obviously, do you come back? Do you come down to London quite a lot for a lot of work, or do you base?
Actually, I'm moving. Well, if everything goes to plan, I'm
Yeah.
moving to London next month.
Are you?
Yeah, because most of my work is there now, and I do keep some of my gigs in Manchester. Definitely, I do go back and forth quite a lot.
Mm.
But if most of it is there, I might as well base myself there now. So I decided to maybe stupidly try and make the move during a pandemic. So we'll see how that works out.
Fingers crossed it
It's
goes well
going
for
okay
you.
so far. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
exactly. But
mad. I
it's
mean,
going fine so far.
it will be. Yeah, it will be fine as well. Don't worry. But how do you find that journey from going from Manchester to London and back all the time? Was that quite alright for you, or did you find it really stressful?
I actually really enjoy it. It's kind of like, it's those couple of hours I get to myself to either read, listen to music, sleep, watch something. It's an excuse for, or like maybe even edit videos, but
Yeah.
that's very rare. I like to have that journey as my downtime.
It's fair enough. What you watch at the moment? Any kind of series at the moment?
Oh my god, this is so embarrassing, but I've only just started watching Stranger Things.
I've
So
never watched this. So I'm in the same boat as you. Don't
oh,
worry.
okay, good. I'm so glad I'm not the only one. No, because I'm one of those really annoyingly stubborn people where if something's really like overhyped, I won't watch it because I don't
Yeah,
want to be
me.
disappointed.
I'm the
Yeah,
same. Yeah.
good. No,
That's
yeah.
why I never watched things like Game of Thrones
I
and those
never
sort of
watched that
things.
either.
I never
Yeah,
watched. I watched a couple of episodes, but then when everyone went mad at the last episode, didn't they?
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought, here we go, 9 seasons. I should save
Yeah.
myself.
I saw petitions of them trying to change this ninth season and get it redone.
It's like, thank God I saved myself from watching that. But I've got to say though, have you seen Breaking Bad though?
Yes, I have. I do love that series.
That's the best thing I've ever watched. She's so good.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Better Call Saul?
I haven't seen that, although I did watch. Is it El Camino, the film that came out about a year
Yeah,
ago?
I did. Oh,
Yeah,
I was a bit disappointed by that though.
I was as well. I thought I kind of I was really excited to watch it, obviously, but at the same time, I thought, is it a bit too late to bring it out now? Because it's so
Mm,
long. Then when it did come out, I thought it's kind of just what I thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought, I'm trying to discuss it without not giving any spoilers to people, but yeah, I think I was disappointed in that they didn't show us more of what had actually happened
Hmm.
after the events of the series.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. Maybe they'll make another one. Who knows?
Hopefully they do.
Yeah.
But going back to your time at INC, and you did a master's as well, didn't you, and a bachelor's degree too.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
did both of them at RNCM.
Yeah, brilliant. How were they for you?
Yeah, great. I mean, I will always say that I think one of the main things that got me through being at RNCM was the fact that they have a pop course, because being able to meet people that weren't just classical musicians and also work on projects that weren't just classical projects really, I don't know, I think coming from the high school that I did, which was a specialist classical school, by the time I got to conservatoire, I was just so done with classical music. I
Mhm.
really couldn't be bothered doing it anymore. I think I went to conservatoire because I was like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
Like, that's what everybody else was doing. And I think in my the end of my first year, I really wanted to drop out of my undergrad, and
Really?
yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. And then I started getting more involved with pop course projects and
Mhm.
meeting more people in there and being able to collaborate with them, and that kind of reignited my love for it. So I'm really glad that I stayed
Yeah,
because it's
brilliant. Well
great.
done. Well
Yeah.
done. And obviously, as we all know, viola isn't as popular as violin. Is that the reason why you started your contemporary viola sessions? Sorry, your contemporary viola sessions a couple of years
Oh,
ago.
so yeah, so we started that up. Me and my friend Olivia, we started that up as our third year project, or was it fourth year project? I think it was our fourth year project. Yeah.
Mm.
So at the end of your final undergrad year of RNCM, you have a creative project, which is, I think, most of your mark for that final year, and you're supposed to. It's basically a complete project that you curate yourself. It can be anything from like a series of concerts. I don't know, like a channel you could make, which is what we did.
Hmm.
But we wanted to make it as different as possible and out the box by, not many people know about the viola.
Yeah.
Not many people like the viola because I don't know why, because it's
Yeah.
bloody great.
It's
Um,
amazing.
yeah,
It is.
but we always used to find that going through conservatoire, and especially when it came to the end of the year and recital season, trying to pick out what we wanted to play, there's not much viola rep that is originally for the viola. A lot of it is transcribed from cello or violin or something else, and they're all classical pieces. So we tried to create that project that was basically showcasing more modern pieces made specifically for the viola by composers. Um, so we, went round a few conservatoires for other students our age who were playing those kind of pieces and asked them to perform them for us. And then, yeah, made our channel like that. That was kind of just for our fourth year, but I think we're going to try and pick it up again. We've been talking about it recently.
Brilliant. Because I was going to ask actually what the next steps were for it. Have you?
Yeah, well, I think we stopped mainly because we both Livia went to do her masters in London while I stayed in Manchester, so it was obviously a bit hard. But now that I'm moving down south, I think we want to try and pick it up again.
Brilliant. And what you being a violist? Actually, I want to ask you personally, like, why do you think viola has always been kind of been like the kind of the butt of the jokes for orchestra music or not being taken so seriously? Why is that? Do you think? I never understood why, but
No, you know what? Neither do I. I think maybe it's just because it's like you've got the violin, you've
yeah.
got the cello,
Hmm.
and the viola is just like this weird one in between, a bit of both. Doesn't really know where it is, but I think that's probably me to a T, so that's why I like it as well.
So I've always loved it. I never understood why I feel like the butt of the jokes for so many things, but
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I changed as well, because I mean, my mum will attest to this, that when I was a kid and I was practicing my violin, if I was starting a new piece, I would absolutely hate playing a new piece on the E string because I thought it sounded so disgusting and scratchy. Obviously, me being my 7-year-old self, it would do anyway, but I was like, I just get mad at myself that it didn't sound like a virtuosic piece from the bat. So yeah, it used to really annoy me. So when I got to playing the viola, it was kind of a nice, refreshing difference.
yeah, 'cause I've always loved it. So I never knew why that happened, but
Yeah.
I keep it going. Like you're doing amazing work with it, so I keep it going.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure. And during your time at INC, was that when you had the work experience with the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra as well at that sort of
Yeah.
time? Yeah.
Yeah, I
How was
did.
that?
Incredible. Yeah, that was definitely one of my highlights of my course. I think so. At the RNCM, they do this amazing thing called the Professional Experience Scheme, which is, I don't know how it is now, but when I was there were 3 or 4 orchestras that you could apply to do your work experience for almost a full year, full academic year, and you'd basically just go in to 2 or 3 projects of theirs, and as if you were one of the orchestra, and you'd sit in on all the rehearsals and then do a concert with them at the end. um, and then at the end of that, they gave me a place as an extra player as well when I
Wow.
finished it, which is incredible. So I've done a couple of actual gigs with the BBC Phil since, well, pre-lockdown, obviously. But yeah, it's
I
really
mean,
good.
what was it like getting that position to play with him, and then obviously getting that extra place to play with him after? What was that like for you?
It was, oh my God, insane. You know what? I'm still kind of flabbergasted that that actually happened, because I remember going for it and it was another one of those things that I was like, I don't want to go for it because I'm scared of not getting it.
Mhm.
And then my teacher was just like, why not? Like, even if you don't get it, it's still good experience, because if you want to go for orchestras in the future, this is how they will audition you.
Mhm.
Um, so I kind of went in just like, all right, well, it's good experience. I'm not going to get it, but just do what, the best that you can. And then I was absolutely shocked when I found out I got it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Um, but and then going to the actual rehearsals and obviously sitting next to, so you have two mentors.
Mhm.
So you're always sat next to one of your mentors when you go in and do your experience. And then they give you feedback at the end, and I was just like absolutely crapping my pants the whole time, because
Really?
obviously them being so close to me, I was like, what if I do something wrong? What if they can see that I'm doing something wrong? What if they can hear it? Like,
Yeah.
I was just freaking out the whole time, but it was fine. It was fine. And you know what? It's that invaluable experience from professional players that a lot of people don't get to get, especially as a student.
Mm.
So I'm very, very lucky that I got that, because it set me up in being able to go into other orchestras as well and how they work.
That's amazing. And what kind of advice did your mentors give you during your time there, and even afterwards as well?
Um, so I mean, they haven't given me much after, because I think they were just basically like, you don't really have anything to worry about, so just keep doing what you're doing and try to stick with it. But I remember the first couple of projects I did do, it was all about kind of technical things, like make sure you've got your eye on the section leader, what they're doing. Make sure you can't just hear yourself over the rest of the section has to be as one and cohesive. um and yeah, watching the conductor for timings, making sure you come in not too early, not too late, all that, like little things like that,
Yeah.
which at first are just like really overwhelming, but then after a bit it becomes second nature. So
Oh, that's brilliant. And you were involved with the BBC prompt as well, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, how was that?
That was really fun. You know what? It was the CVV's prom.
Oh, was
Like, I
it?
think
That's
last
still all
year.
right though.
It was so cute. It was unfortunately I haven't been able to do no, I haven't done a proper prom. What have I? Oh no, I did. Okay, I did a proper prom when I was in the National Youth Orchestra.
Uh-huh. Trying to get
So
into
that was like,
actually. Yeah.
yeah, that was like 6 years ago. That's why I forgot about that. But that was incredible. That was very good. We did Stravinsky's Petrushka. I think we did a piano concerto, but I can't remember whether it was either Prokofiev or Rachmaninoff, but I can't remember. But I remember that was the first time I went to Royal Albert Hall when I think I was 18, and I was just like, I just couldn't speak, because it was just such a surreal experience, especially going there as a teenager. You're like, what the fuck? So, but yeah, it was great. It was great.
Can I want to get into that actually about the Royal Albert Hall? That's my favourite venue of
Yeah.
all time. I mean, what the hell
Oh,
was it like to perform there as a teenager as well? I mean, such a massive venue. What's it like to perform there? So
I don't.
young as well.
You know what? I don't really remember much of it. Um, I think mainly because my memory is so bad. But I just remember being like really, really nervous all the time, because I was like, if I'm gonna mess something up, I can't do it here. Like,
Yeah.
this is the one place you can't mess up. Even if other people couldn't tell, it would be on my conscience.
I'm the
That,
same as you. I'm exactly the same as you. 'Cause I know
exactly.
that being in the arts, especially, we're such perfectionists, aren't we?
Yeah,
That
definitely.
even like the most minor of mistakes, even though most people won't realize it, to us, like
Yeah.
on our conscious, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's something that I'm also getting to grips with as my career grows, because there are so many things, like you say, as an artist, that you really nitpick things, and most of the time other people don't have a clue that it's happened. So don't beat yourself up about really, really tiny things like that, because actually when other people listen to it, they like imperfections.
Mm.
They don't like things to be completely perfect. So
Yeah, it's true
yeah.
though. It's really, really, really true.
Mm.
And didn't you lead the section as well for the National Youth Orchestra as well, the viola section? Did you
No,
lead
I
it?
didn't. I wish I did, but I didn't know.
Who was that for? I've read that you led the section, I think, for one of the orchestras.
I've led the section of RNCM Symphony Orchestra.
Okay, that's the one. That's the one.
I've done that, and I've been co-principal of the Chineke Orchestra
Mm.
recently, which was amazing as well.
Can't wait to get
Um,
into that as well. What's it like working with the Chineke Orchestra? I know the daughter of Chineke obviously really well. I'm good friends with Phoebe.
oh no
Yeah,
way! Oh,
yeah, yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
know them
oh,
really
it's such a
well.
small world. I love that. There's
I
so
know.
many musicals.
I know.
Um,
How do you
yeah,
how do you get involved with them? Chineke Orchestra. They're
so
amazing.
they're incredible. I am so lucky and absolutely so grateful to be a part of that orchestra. I first got involved with them, I think it was like 2016, so it was their second year of being together.
Mhm.
And I remember I was just at home in Manchester. I think it was my second or third year, and I got a call from Chi Chi.
Mm.
And I'm gonna be 100% honest and ashamed to say I didn't know who Chi Chi was before that point.
Really?
I think I'd seen her name floating about, but I didn't properly know who she was. And I think that was also because that was the point where I was kind of losing my love for classical music before I got back into it. And she called me up and she was like, "Hi, explain to me what Chineke was and the mission and the ethos." And straight away, I was like, "Yes, yeah, I would love to be a part of it." Um, I mean, obviously I was just a student, so I think with students, it's great experience for them, because it's actually a paid gig, so you want to really put the work in and put the effort in. Um, and being able to see how professional orchestra works. But I remember going and saying, okay, well, it's great experience. I'm a student, so I'm actually going to have to work really hard if she wants to book me again, or so just see that I'm really committed. And I did, and I've been in it since, and I am so grateful, because there's so many incredible concerts that they've done. They
Mm.
did one last month, was it last month, October? The one that's currently on their YouTube channel at the moment, called Black Legacies. That is so moving, and I was crying in the concert.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. Was that one of your most emotional ones that you've been a part of, do you feel?
definitely. That was definitely the most emotional one I've been a part of.
Yeah,
um I mean, even the rehearsals were heavy, but then the actual thing was just, yeah, it was very emotional.
I can imagine.
Amazing.
And has it been the last sort of year you've been part of the Chineke Orchestra, or even longer?
No, about so since 2016, so probably the
Oh
past
wow,
4 years.
4 years. Yeah,
Mm.
that's amazing. It's
Yeah,
really, really good.
it's been a great experience. And like like you were saying about being in a section, I started out being the very, very, very back of the section, and worked my way up to co-principal, which is really, really great. um
Yeah,
but yeah, it's such a great group to be a part of.
that's fantastic. How does it feel for you being co-principal now of such a fantastic orchestra?
I'm not always co-principal. It's only
Oh,
happened a couple of times.
okay,
um
okay.
but I'm not gonna lie and say that, yeah, there is that added pressure being on the front desk, but I like a challenge. I
Mm-hmm.
like to try and take things in my stride, so yeah, I do enjoy it.
Brilliant. I know that you also worked on the Garage Orchestra album, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, Ignition
Yeah.
Orchestra. Yeah,
How was that?
so good. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
think that will also that gig, we did the concert for that album at the Royal Albert Hall as well.
Yeah.
And I think that will always probably be Probably one of my favorite gigs I've ever done. Maybe number one.
Really?
Yeah, it was so
Wow.
good.
I know you also worked with the Sugar Babes, didn't you, on the at the Graham Norton show as well?
Yeah, yeah,
Th-
to promote the album.
Yeah, yeah. How was that?
It was that was another like surreal experience because we went in, we did a rehearsal for like half an hour, maybe an hour, and then we had free time for like 2 or 3 hours, maybe more. Went in, did the song, which took probably like 10 minutes max, and
Yeah.
then was gone. And then that was it. I mean, like,
Really?
was that it? Like, no retakes, no, like, no, it was, but yeah, it was really chill. Everyone was really nice. We got to meet them after, and oh my god, I was fangirling so hard because I grew up listening to Sugar Babes when I was a kid, and my mum loves them as well. So
Really?
yeah, she was like, make sure you get a picture with them.
And did you?
I did.
Well done. But what else are you working on right now so people can find you as well?
So I'm not really working on anything individually apart from my YouTube. I know that I've got a couple of little Christmas gigs coming up, but they're not really full projects. They're just little events for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got a couple of video shoots in the pipeline in January, but who knows if they will continue. Hopefully they do. I'm keeping my
Ready?
fingers
Fingers
crossed.
crossed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But apart from that, I think because of everything that's going on right now, everything is just, we're getting gigs like the week before or a couple of days before because we don't know how it's going.
I'm just wishing you all the very best of luck with your future as well,
Thank
though.
you so much.
Pleasure. And how can people find you online as well?
So if you follow all my socials, I think they're all Natalia SB,
Mm-hmm.
to try and keep it consistent. Otherwise, I'll also forget my username because I'm really bad at that.
I'll remind you then.
Yeah. So Natalia SB on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and then my YouTube channel, which is just my name, Natalia Senior-Brown.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much for today, Natalia. I was really glad to speak with
Thank you
you.
for having me. It's
A
great to speak to
pleasure.
you.
You too, and take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.